Hello and welcome to our P&O Arvia vlog series. In this episode, there's ups and downs in Lisbon. It's too close to call at Sail Away. In the Grand Atrium, CJ Illusions leaves us gobsmacked. And be sure to watch until the end to find out why we had a night to remember.
Hello and welcome to sunny Lisbon. So Lisbon is sunny today after a bit of a rainy day yesterday in Cadiz. Our one and only trip to Portugal on the cruise, and we've been to Lisbon before, so we're really looking forward to getting off the ship today and enjoying what Lisbon has to offer. The weather in Lisbon today is quite nice. As we said, it's sunny. It's about 15 degrees, so we're still going to need a jacket, I think. Yeah. But as we're Brits and the sun's out, let's go for it. For breakfast this morning, we headed up to the buffet.
I just opted to have a little bit of toast with some jam.
I had a couple of hash browns, beans, and a bit of bacon.
Yeah, set you up right for the day.
Yeah, it was quite nice.
It was really nice. It was about 15 degrees in the sunshine. Obviously in the shade in Lisbon, it was a little bit nippy. It wasn't shorts and t-shirts weather.
No, but it was beautiful blue sky outside. So we were looking forward to getting off the ship, weren't we?
So we basically got off the ship straight after breakfast. One handy little hint that I don't think we've mentioned before is in the lifts, elevators, there's a little star button. And if you press that star button, it will just take you to wherever the disembarkation is on the ship. It's very, very clever.
That is a brilliant tip because a lot of passengers do wonder which deck we disembark on. If you press the star button, it takes you straight there.
Today we were joined by
P&O Aurora.
Inside the cruise terminal in Lisbon, there are lots of tour operators there. So if you haven't booked any excursions with your cruise company, don't panic. You can pick up the big red bus. You can pick up the Hippo bus.
The Hippo bus is a semi-aquatic bus, isn't it, that does take you into the water as well as driving around the town.
Yeah, and you can do all of that as soon as you step off the ship.
And also there are lots and lots of guys there, mostly guys, there's a couple of ladies trying to offer you trips on tuk-tuks, which seems a very popular way to explore Lisbon.
Yeah, and quite reasonably priced as well.
Yeah. Also outside the terminal is the coach transfer into Lisbon itself. Quite strange to have a coach transfer in Lisbon because you really don't need it. It is very, very much walking distance. I'd say maximum 10-minute walk on a flat surface. Any ability would be able to do it to reach the main square there right at the front of Lisbon. Yeah,
it was a little bit unusual that P&O would put this shuttle bus on, especially as they were charging saver-fare passengers £4 each way.
Yeah. So
when it is easily walkable, you can see the building from where you're being picked up on the shuttle bus.
Yeah, so consider whether you need to pay for that shuttle bus or not. So we walked to that main square, picked up some lovely views of Arvia on our way. And when we reached the main square, once again, beautiful place to stand and just take some pictures. But there is quite a few sellers there who like to pretend to sell you sunglasses.
Just be mindful in the area. Lisbon is also known for its pickpockets, so just make sure that you keep your wits about you while you are exploring the city.
From the main square in Lisbon, you head under a beautiful archway and into the main shopping street. Very, very easy to find. It's a small incline up this main shopping street with lots of cafes and bars lining the middle of the street.
In the street there are lots of high street shops as well as local souvenir shops. You can pretty much find everything that you need there. Just off the main street is the Santa Justa lift, and that's exactly where we were going.
Yeah, so we'd been to Lisbon before, as we said, so we didn't hang about much in the street, although in that street there is a fantastic pastel de nata shop called Fabrica de Nata, which we would recommend you stop in if you do get a chance. But we did head straight to the lift because we knew there would be big queues.
Yeah, it's a premium tourist attraction.
Yes, it was built and designed by what we believe was Eiffel's apprentice. So it does really have that feel and look of the Eiffel Tower, albeit much, much smaller.
For a return ticket, it cost about €5.40.
Yeah,
Per person. The trip lasts about 1 minute. However, the queue lasted for an hour.
Yeah, so it is a big queue to get up the lift. We did it just for the experience. You don't need to do it, and there are other cheaper alternatives available. If you fancy walking up the hill, you can get to the viewpoint completely free.
Yep.
If you want to. And you can also buy a day pass which gets you on the trams, on the metros, on the funiculars and the lifts from any metro station. It has to be a metro station, and that costs around €6 for the day. So that is definitely the cheapest option if you're planning on using any public transport around Lisbon.
Unfortunately, what we hadn't noticed when we joined the queue for the lift was the viewpoint right at the top was actually closed.
Yeah, so there's
tiny little sign, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there's two viewpoints. One where you reach the exit of the lift at the top, and then there's a spiral staircase that takes you up above the exit of the lift. And it's the one right at the top that was closed. So that was a bit of a shame, wasn't it?
Yeah, especially that they could have put some sort of notice along or even at the back of the queue.
Yeah.
Just so people were aware, because by the time we queued an hour and then we saw the sign, perhaps we wouldn't have gone on the lift.
No, we probably wouldn't have bothered. But it was the experience that we were there for.
Yeah, and there was still some absolutely amazing views from the top.
Yeah, the inside of the lift is quite ornate. It's very old-fashioned. A lot of it is wood. So it does feel like you're being transported back in time a little bit, doesn't it? Because it is that type of experience. And you've got someone in there operating the lift for you. So it's quite interesting. Once we reached the top of the lift, we then spent some time again looking at that viewpoint that is on the exit level of the lift. And then we headed from there out onto across the bridge onto a balcony. On the balcony there is a small cafe where you can see them preparing some traditional Portuguese food.
Not far from the exit to the lift and the cafe, you'll find a square with lots of different museums in there. They all are chargeable. The area's got a few little cafes and bars that you can sit down and sort of relax and take in the scenery, as well as some public toilets that are absolutely free.
Good tip. There's also a guard on duty in traditional dress, which is quite nice for those touristy pictures. And it's a great little place to explore, isn't it?
Yeah, we would never have found it if we hadn't used the lift.
Yeah, and you feel like in Lisbon you go from square to square to square, really, don't you? So we left that square there, walked down the street and went in another square. This square then had trams going around it.
Yeah, it was much more of a central...
Much busier, wasn't it?
Central hub with buses, trams and a lot of traffic.
A lot of traffic, more cafes about. And this is where we stopped and had a coffee and a pasta donata, didn't we?
Yeah, when in Lisbon you've got to have a pasta donata.
Yeah, and again, fantastic. We love having one of those and love stopping for a coffee on all our little ports, don't we? So we did that and then headed back to the lift to go back down. No queues going down, which is great. So if you do want to ride the lift, that's another tip, is
take it from the top.
Take it from the top going down much quicker and no queue at all.
No. We had it all to ourselves and it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
We weren't squished in or squeezed in.
No, it was just us in the whole lift. So
and the guy.
Well, and the guy operating.
Conductor, yeah.
So very different experience to going up. And then we had a little walk around the main touristy area of Lisbon there, didn't we? Around the main streets and headed back towards the ship.
Yeah, this time we actually walked down the street that's parallel to the main shopping street, and what we found was just a row, the whole street on either side was restaurant after restaurant after restaurant.
Yeah, and the restaurateurs there are quite in your face, they're quite vocal and they really do try and tout for your business, don't they?
Oi.
So sit down, come and sit down, here's the menu type of situation, and you get that again and again and again as you move down the street. and you can see that some of the restaurants are popular there, some are not so popular, so it's worth having a walk down if you're looking for something to eat, but just be aware that they are quite pushy.
Yeah, and that one that said, "Oi, drink."
After we walked down the street with all the restaurants, we then reached the edge of the river. We walked along the river bank once again till we reached Arvia.
Some brilliant views of Arvia as we were walking closer to her, weren't we?
Yeah, and we went back into the cruise terminal. What we did want to do is go to the top floor of the cruise terminal because there is a viewpoint there. Unfortunately, it's only open on weekends during the winter for some reason. Even though there were 3 ships in port, the viewpoint was closed. So that was a little bit disappointing for us, wasn't it?
Yeah, because we missed it on our last one as well.
Yeah. Never mind. So instead we just headed straight back onto Arvia.
Yes, and after all that walking and exploring Lisbon, we were both a little bit hungry, so we made our way up to the buffet this time.
Yeah.
So up in the Horizon buffet, they had quite a nice little selection. I opted to have some chips, some fries, and some roast chicken, and I also chose to have some spinach and ricotta filled pasta. Yeah, not the best pasta I've had in the world.
No, and I had like a KFC type chicken and chips, really, so a little fast food meal that I made myself. Quite tasty, really enjoyed that actually.
Once we'd finished our little snack / lunch in the buffet, we wanted to make the most of this weather, and we went down onto deck 8 and found a lovely little sheltered area out the wind and the breeze, and directly in the sun, didn't we?
Yeah, a couple of sun lounges. We ordered a couple of drinks and relaxed for about an hour, didn't we? Just taking up probably what's going to be our last bit of warm sun of the cruise, isn't it?
Yeah. We sat outside, enjoyed the sun, and then made our way back to the cabin to get ready for the evening. At this point, we didn't really know what time we were departing Lisbon. Pretty much as soon as we got back to the cabin, there was a ship announcement from the captain giving us the instructions. Now, if you've never sailed into or out of Lisbon, you are missing out because it is one of the best sailings ever.
Yeah. Fantastic, it is beautiful. You get to sail under that iconic bridge, and it is an experience, isn't it? Especially on a big ship, because you do just get so close to the bridge itself.
So we got to the room, the announcement came on, we listened to that, and then we hurried right up on deck 18 at the front of the ship.
Yeah, at this point the sun was going down. It was beautiful sunset. The sky was red, fire red, wasn't it, really? Absolutely stunning. Aurora, who was docked behind us, went out first, so we watched her sail away, didn't we? And then not long after, it was time for our turn. By that time we got to the bridge. It was pretty much dark though, wasn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately. If we'd gone perhaps 15 minutes earlier, it might have helped, but the sun had gone down by the time we got there.
Not a problem for us though. It was actually quite nice because we'd done a daylight experience under the bridge, so it was quite nice to do it at night. So we've got 2 different experiences to compare, and still, when you get onto that bridge, fantastic. The clearance for us under the bridge was only about 5 or 6 feet, so not much at all, and it did look even closer as we were passing underneath. What a great experience. Great to be right on the top deck, deck 18 at the front of the ship, where we could get the closest possible to the bridge, and it was busy at the front of the deck, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, there were lots and lots of people out doing exactly the same thing as what we were.
Yeah. After our bridge experience, we then headed back to the room, very quickly got changed and headed out for dinner.
While we were walking through the atrium, we saw that CJ Illusions, the illusionist couple who performed on our first night, were actually doing street magic in the main atrium, and they were free. So, why not?
CJ Illusions did the first performance of our cruise on the main stage, and they have been offering close-up magic in the atrium at various times during the cruise. and it was our time to experience it, and what an experience it was. It was great to just have something one-on-one, really close up, and to be honest, it left us a little bit astounded, didn't it?
Yeah, they were very, very impressive, and you could see by the look on our faces, or mine in particular, that I just was not expecting any of it. It was a really, really good show. Obviously, if you're on Iona or Arvia in the future and you see these close-up magic acts, do sit there and participate, because they are fantastic.
Fantastic. Nothing scary about it. It's just card tricks and close-up magic.
We'd joined the queue for the Zenith restaurant just before we started with CJ Illusions, and by the time we'd finished, we'd been called to our table, so off we went.
Zenith restaurant is located on deck 7. And it's a main dining room, just like the Meridian below it. The only difference is, as we've said, it serves the same menu, but Meridian doesn't have tablecloth, Zenith does. No idea why. For starter then, in the Zenith restaurant, I had the tomato and basil soup. Just exactly what it says on the tin. It was a very nice tomato and basil soup.
For my starter, I opted to have the Caesar salad, and yeah, it was very nice.
This thing, we had very plain starters, didn't we?
Did,
That were just
yeah.
simple. For the main then, I had the pork rack. Very, very tasty, really enjoyed that. It came with some green beans, green peas, and a bit of potato. So very, very tasty, really enjoyed.
And for my main, I opted to have the beer marinated half chicken. They boned it. It was very, very nice. I did order a side of fries, a side of chips with it, and it was very nice. It was chicken.
Yeah, we are finding that the menu is perhaps slightly more limiting than what we would like. That's because the steak every night, and normally that is a good thing, so we don't want to complain too much.
No.
Steak every night, pan-fried chicken every night, so there is some staples there. But sometimes we like a little bit more variety. Okay, and then for dessert, we both went for the same thing, didn't we? We both had the chocolate brownie with raspberry, and that was actually really nice. The raspberry was very sharp, really, wasn't it?
Very sharp, and did sort of complement the chocolate very well. The only criticism was it wasn't actually like a brownie, it was like a cake.
But it was fine.
We ordered a couple of glasses of wine with our meal, and they took a little while to get to the table, and after we'd finished them during our meal, they stayed empty for the rest of our dining experience, unfortunately.
Bit slow with the drinks. I don't know what everyone else's experiences are in the main dining room, so please let us know. You might have had brilliant service. It's just that this occasion it was just a little bit slow with the drinks, wasn't it? After our meal, it was time then to head up to the Skydome, because we were going to see a duo called Euphoria.
We'd bumped into them a couple of times on the ship, and they basically mentioned to us that they were performing up in the Skydome and asked us if we were going. So we went up to the Skydome for their 9:30 performance.
Yeah, and they were fantastic. Doing a set of movie soundtracks, and everything from Beauty and the Beast to Dirty Dancing was in there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, really good. Skydome, great venue, fantastic lighting, beautiful staging. The only issue for them, bless them, was that it was like the wave pool was in operation in front of them, so I think they were getting a bit of spray.
Yeah, it was a little bit rocky, and yeah, I do feel for them, because that must have been distracting.
Yeah, but they didn't
No.
let it affect their performance, so, and it was a great performance.
After Euphoria in the Skydome, we quickly hurried down to deck 6 and 7 to the Headliners Theatre, because tonight the Overtones were performing.
They were fantastic, weren't they? We really enjoyed their set. Did some real good classic songs in an Overtones style. Really good performance from the 4 lads in the Overtones. They looked super smart. They had some like cool dance moves, really good vocals, and really interacted well with the audience.
They performed a mix of songs from the 1960s, 70s and 80s.
Yeah, real good mix. Very good night. So they've got another performance coming up, different show in a couple of days' time, and we'll definitely make sure we go to see that.
The theatre was jam-packed. There were very, very few seats left. It was a very, very popular show. They had people up dancing.
They had us all singing along, clapping along. Really, really interactive experience where we all got involved. By the time the Overtones finished, it was roughly about 11:15. So we headed up to the Crow's Nest to have a probably final drink before bed.
Yes, we had a lovely little gin and tonic while the pianist was still playing and singing. It was a really, really nice end to the evening.
Yeah. As we've said before, the Crow's Nest is a very sophisticated venue. You sit there, have a nice little drink, a bit of piano playing. The lady who does play the piano will take requests, and she's happy to do so. The bar service is pretty good up there, and in the day there is spectacular views, but in the night it transforms, and it does feel really, really nice up there, doesn't it?
It's a nice, relaxed, laid-back venue.
Yeah.
And like we said, the views up there are absolutely spectacular. After a gin or two in the Crow's Nest, we quickly popped into the Horizon Buffet just to see what they had to offer. It was much busier in there tonight because we were a little bit earlier.
Yes, I didn't have anything to eat tonight. I just had a hot chocolate.
And I had my cheese and crackers, and let's not say any more about that.
No.
We then decided...
You then decided that you wanted to have a couple of quid in the casino, didn't you? So we headed back down to the casino.
We haven't had much luck with P&O casinos.
Definitely been our most unlucky ship so far, hasn't it?
So the $10 a day type of thing have sort of added up, and we've got no significant wins to show for it.
No, never mind. We keep trying though, don't we?
No, that's it now.
That's it. No more casino. Are you sure? Because we'll do another. Tomorrow we'll be on here saying we went to the casino.
And we won £1,000. Fingers crossed.
And that was the end of our night. We headed back up to our room after our $10 each in the casino, and we look forward to our last couple of sea days now coming up before we get back to Southampton.
Yeah, so not looking forward to the weather getting a little bit colder now.
I think it will be colder tomorrow, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching our day in Lisbon on Arvia. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them in the box below and we'll get back to you.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got lots more Arvia content coming your way. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more content available on our YouTube channel, so press that subscribe button. If you're interested in receiving daily updates, we're available on most social media platforms. Just search for Tom and Dom Travel.